this.
Yeah? No! Dude, we have so much shit to go!
Is not Salt 2. And if you don't want your hard-earned booty stolen from you by those nasty, mean other players, well, maybe you should try something a little more peaceful. When you purchase this game, you are eager to see if the words open world are the most important aspect of the phrase open world survival game, which is used in part to describe this game. And coming in at US $15, it is a steal between friends that is nothing really, especially when you could get a pirate ship to explore and craft in, all in a infinite procedural world. And what a lure that is, $15 and infinite. A combination admittedly rare but so potentially rich, like a good kiss, also known as a snog or a pash, or one term not used so much anymore, to sling a slobber. Look it up, it's true. Hit the sub and like button if you've ever had a kiss that was more slobber than delicate finesse. And if you've never been kissed, don't worry, you'll eventually know what I'm talking about when the saliva is trailing down your chin. Anyway, when you loaded up the game, you found it true to its word. You were a pirate on an island, but even an infinite world starts someplace. Well, it does from your perspective. Don't get too philosophical about it. And that starting place revolved around opening, searching, and picking up everything you could find to fulfill the first starter mission, which was basically to build a raft and travel to the nearest seaport, which was just a few quick hops and skips away. To achieve this momentous first build, you picked up wood, made some items in a convenient workbench lying around, pickaxed some ore deposits, explored a nearby cave, and avoided a bear within, which was a good thing as it probably had a major point to prove, being labelled weak bear. Poor thing. After you build the raft at another convenient workbench called a cartographer's bench, you then found your way to another island in shortish time. And honestly, you really had no idea why you even bothered with the raft, as seemingly moments later you built your first ship. And that raft was conveniently stored in your inventory. Don't ask, and we won't tell how that all works. But your raft was never ever looked at again, thrown away like your last smartphone. Good riddance to old tech. Once you had your ship deployed, it apparently took a while to understand how to build your bed to enable you to sleep through the night. But that gave you ample opportunity to enjoy the very sparkly nighttime. Well, maybe not sparkly, more dust-moty. Travelling across the seas, you found another island, on which was a lonely fisherman who asked you to get some tough rope. Mission accepted, but before leaving you found a cave and fought your first undead, and using a combination of bow and sword, they were no match for your prowess. Now, your first thoughts around the combat system were that it was pretty simple, not much more than left and right clicks with healing potions on the hotbar, an old, well-used formula. Maybe, just maybe, a bit too well used. But the cave, one of many you would explore, was certainly nicely done. Nice lighting, nice ambience, nice rocks, some nice design work, and you can respect that. Of course, you mustn't forget your food intake, as you do get hungry in this game. There is food lying around in various containers, cheese, bananas and various other snacks, but the best way to fill up your grumbly tummy is the good old game of chase the boar. I mean, these boars need a speed boost. How the hell have they survived so long if any pirate could just chase them down with a cutlass? But you're not complaining, as when the meat is cooked up, it also provides you plenty of healing. It is clearly packed full of nutrients. But let's move this video along and summarize about 25 to 30 hours of play. Well, there was a lot of sailing. There was a lot of raids on pirate encampments and an awful lot of pirates killed, and I mean a lot. You left a trail of Jack Sparrow corpses in your wake. It was pure slaughter really, with the bonus of this carnage being lots of loot gained, including the odd bobblehead toy. Then there were the islands with the very pretty trees, which caused you to just wander and stare. Oh, so very pretty. You also discovered that your ship was invulnerable, and that boar meat and bananas gave you inhuman strength, so you were able to push a ship with ease off a rock. An excellent game feature for sure, but somewhat odd, leading to much abuse as you willfully crash your ship onto shore. Fine sailing skills be damned. In fact, when you reflected on it, you realise that the sailing aspect of this game felt underdone, kind of empty. The seas were yours, and yours alone. Lifeless, really. The sails were less sails and more reliable engines, so the necessary journeys between the islands where everything happened seemed forlorn and sad, and earned this aspect of the game an unhappy emoji. But like all survival games, your downtime is spent crafting and producing items, which is done from the benches placed carefully in your ship. This part of the game is quite well thought out, with you never being overwhelmed, with many new crafting items unlocked through finding and reading parchments. The progress here was a little slowish, which the old Battlefield Call of Duty you would have found rather frustrating, but that slow pace felt right for this kind of sleepy game. And if crafting and staring at the waves was not enough, you could always dip your rod in and haul out a fish or two. A pretty simple dynamic again, but fishing is fishing, love it or hate it. As you progress forward through the infinite island chain, you discovered secret mystical caves, cultists, more fancy caves, and some with nice little puzzles to unlock, some treasure rooms, more doors requiring fancy keys that you didn't have. And you started to get the feeling that there was a lot more to this game than you may have first thought. Your relentless pursuit of pirates and their camps continued ceaselessly, those poor pirate bastards. Which in turn led to an inventory which was rather full. No, that's not the best way to describe it. Your inventory was full enough to fill every space on a moderate-sized cargo ship, and it all went into your backpack. You also found you could dig up very poorly hidden treasure chests. No wonder these pirates were such easy kills. They were actually stupid beyond all measure, if this is how they care for their most precious items. And all this loot, which felt infinite, had to be sold, so sold it was, to quickly build up your coin and set you up for more adventures on this infinite world. Salt 2 is a game that has taken a go-slow pill. There is clearly a lot to do in it, with you departing the world with many unanswered questions like, what was behind that door? And what was behind that other door? And what was behind that other door? Now, sorry, those questions do maybe sort of seem the same, but there were just a lot of doors that you couldn't open. You also saw many clues in the game that point to this game being quite layered, like a chocolate cake, but time would be required to eat through and taste all those which you were not quite ready to give to this odd little game. Now, all procedurally generated games carry the risk of sameness, and Salt 2 regrettably has that feel, but the sameness is well done. It is pretty, you do feel piratey, and you've even heard through the pirate grapevine that the devs are actively working on the game to beef it up, so good on them. And I guess if you are looking for a break from Sea of Thieves and want to slowly travel the tropics, this could be the game for you, or not. Honestly, I don't really know, because I'm not you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next chapter.